Welcome back to the Fly With Her podcast. I'm Maya.
And I'm Aitana. Thank you for joining us for another episode.
Today's episode is a little different. Normally, you'll see us with amazing female pilots from all over the world, but today, we thought we'd break down some common aviation acronyms and terminology you may or may not have heard before.
If you ever listen to pilots talking on the radio or watch cockpit videos and thought, why are they speaking in code? Honestly, you're not alone. Aviation relies on short, precise communication, especially when pilots and air traffic controllers are speaking over the radio.
So today, we're going to walk you through some of the most common aviation acronyms and terms so the next time you hear them, you'll know exactly what they mean.
Let's start with something you'll hear all the time in aviation, the phonetic alphabet.
In aviation, pilots just don't say letters over the alphabet. Instead, every letter has a specific word associated with it.
This avoids confusion, especially when radios are noisy or signals aren't perfectly clear, especially in the weather when it's raining or there's turbulence.
So, Aitana, how much of the NATO phonetic alphabet do you know?
Okay, right, let's start. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India,
Good.
Juliet, Kilo, Lima, Mike, November, Papa, Quebec.
Missed one. Missed one.
Wait,
You missed one. Which one did you
Oscar,
miss?
Oscar, Oscar,
Yes,
Oscar,
yes.
Oscar. Yeah. Let me see the EFG. Q, Quebec, Romeo, Sierra, Tango, Uniform, Victor, Whiskey, Sierra.
What did you say?
I didn't say Sierra. I didn't say Sierra.
Okay, good. After whiskey,
X-ray. Yankee Zulu! Yeah!
so there you have it. That is the NATO phonetic alphabet. You hear this used constantly in aviation. For example, if an aircraft registration was G, A, B, C, D, a pilot would say Golf, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta.
Air traffic controllers use the exact same system to make communication clear and standardized worldwide.
Now, let's talk about some pilot license acronyms you might hear in aviation.
First up, obviously, we have the PPL, which stands for Private Pilot License.
Now, this is the first license, usually the first license pilots earn. It allows you to fly an aircraft privately, but you can't be paid to fly.
With a PPL, you can fly friends and family, rented aircraft, travel between airports, for example, from here to France, and start building experience as a pilot.
In the UK, PPL training usually includes a minimum of 45 hours of flight training, ground school exams, and a final skills test.
For many pilots, the PPL is where the aviation journey really begins.
Next, we have the CPL, which stands for Commercial Pilot License.
This license allows pilots to get paid to fly, meaning aviation becomes a professional career.
Pilots with a CPL might work as charter pilots, flight instructors, cargo pilots, or corporate pilots.
Training at this stage becomes much more advanced and focuses on precision flying and professional decision making.
Then we have the ATPL, which stands for Airline Transport Pilot License.
Now this is the highest level of pilot license, and it's the license airline captains eventually hold.
Most airline pilots first obtain something called a frozen ATPL.
This means they've completed all the required exams and training, but still need to build more flight hours before upgrading to a full ATPL.
A full ATPL usually requires around 1,500 hours of flight experience.
Now let's move on to flight rules. Another set of terms you might hear are VFR and IFR.
VFR stands for Visual Flight Rules. This means flying while maintaining visual reference outside the aircraft.
Most private pilot training flights are conducted under VFR.
IFR, on the other hand, stands for Instrument Flight Rules.
This means pilots rely primarily on the aircraft's instruments to navigate, especially when flying in clouds or poor visibility.
Airline flying is typically conducted under IFR.
Let's now move on to training organizations. Next is ATO, which stands for Approved Training Organization.
An ATO is a flight school officially approved by the aviation authority, such as in the UK, the UK CAA or the UK Civil Aviation Authority.
Most professional pilots complete their training through an ATO.
Now, let's talk about aircraft ratings.
SCP stands for Single Engine Piston.
This refers to aircraft with one piston-powered engine, like the Cessna 172 or Piper PA-28, which are commonly used for flight training.
Most pilots begin their training with an SCP rating.
Next is MEP, which stands for multi-engine piston.
This allows pilots to fly aircraft with two piston engines.
Multi-engine training teaches pilots how to handle things like engine failures, asymmetric flight, and higher performance aircraft.
Another important qualification is the IR, instrument rating.
The instrument rating allows pilots to fly using instruments rather than outside visual references, meaning they can fly safely in cloud or poor visibility.
Most professional pilots hold an instrument rating.
Finally, let's look at a couple of common crew roles.
PIC stands for Pilot in Command.
The PIC is the pilot who has ultimate responsibility for the flight. Even if there are multiple pilots on board, one pilot is always designated as the pilot in command, the PIC.
And then we have the FO, which stands for First Officer.
The first officer is the second pilot in a multi-pilot aircraft.
When you first officially start your career in commercial airlines, you start as an FO. In airline operations, the FO assists the captain with flying the aircraft, communication, navigation, and monitoring systems.
So that is it for today. We hope you have learned something new from today's episode.
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Spotify, and YouTube at the Fly With Her podcast.
Don't forget to tune in, take off, and fly with her. See you in the next episode when we will be joined by another amazing female pilot. Bye.
Bye.